Eye on Southwest Louisiana Sports, sponsored by Gordon McKernan.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Gazzolo. This week on Eye on Sports, a look at Barbe baseball, perennial power, national power to some extent, with head coach Glen Cecchini, now in his 33rd year as a coach here, 32nd as the head coach. It's going to take forever to go over your list of accomplishments. 9 state championships, a national championship in 2014, national coach of the year, U.S. coach of U.S. under 18 and under team. What keeps you motivated, and how much longer do you want to keep doing it?
Well, I choose to believe, thank you, Jim. I choose to believe that God's in charge. And so you want to make him laugh, tell him your plans. However, God willing, I plan on going forever until I die. And my kids laugh at me, especially Garen, my oldest son, who's now coaching with us at Barbe, and he's made a huge impact on the young men that we have in our program. He said, "Dad, you're going to die on that field." And I said, "Man, if that happens, what a great death." I mean, because I love the game. I love to try to allow Jesus to work through me and have these kids realize that the American dream is still alive. They can do anything they want. And that's what keeps me going, is that, you know, the extremism, the media will tell you all the dirty laundry and how bad everything is and the world's going to end in doom and gloom. But there's examples every day in society of the American dream being lived out every day. I'm a perfect example of it. I mean, I'm the only high school coach that's ever, and there's many, let me finish that. Only high school coach that's ever won a gold medal with Team USA. And I've done it twice and was part of 2 others. So 4 times, 4 gold medals, and no other high school coach has gotten an opportunity. That's what I was trying to say. There's a lot of coaches that are every bit as deserving as me and could do just as good a job. They just didn't get that opportunity. And I say this not to be boastful, but I truly embrace, like the great Jackie Robinson said, life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives. And people look at me and say, "Look at this guy, he's really not that smart. He works hard. And if he can do it, I can do it." And Jesse Cassard, one of my assistants, he's taken his program. He was my assistant here for 5 years, won 3 state championships in Zachary. And he built an indoor facility like we did. And he's built, and there's West Monroe pretty much came to our program, and they had some money guys and pretty much copied our stadium. I mean, emulation is flattery. I mean, and it's making it better for all those kids. I mean, we want to win. I'm a fierce competitor. But it's not about me. It's not even about Barbe. And, we pray before and after every game. And I choose to believe that every day is a gift and a blessing. And if it wasn't for the grace of Jesus Christ, I could be born in a third world country where I'm fighting for my life and not free to coach baseball as long as I want to or do anything else in my life. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that.
One thing you talk about is the fierce competitor. A lot of talk about the splits in all of sports now in LHSAA, but you loved playing the best. You don't like the split, I take it?
I love playing the best. I mean, I love it. My sons loved it. He says, "Man, it's just not the same without Jesuit and Rummel and Catholic High." I mean, we had epic battles.
Yeah.
And, people like to talk about rivalries and I've never been afraid to say controversial things, but you look at the Yankees and the Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox have won 4 championships in like 10 years. So now there's a rivalry. I mean, they've been dominant. But these are the facts. For about 100 years, the Red Sox
there was
never
no
won.
rivalry. No.
And the Yankees won 27. I'm sorry, that's not really a rivalry. And you say, why am I bringing this up? Nothing against the teams in this area, but the facts are this. Barbe has won or shared a district title 22 out of 25 years, the last 25 years. All right? We've made the playoffs every year for the last 30 years. All right? We've won 9 state championships. No one else has won one. So if we've won 22 out of 25, when I say area, I'm including Lafayette. If we've won 22 out of 25, that doesn't leave much for anyone else. We also made it to the state tournament every single year. I think like 19 out of the last 21 years. I think we went like 16, 17 years in a row before we lost in 2017, and we won 3 state championships in a row. So we may not be winning it, but no one's looking forward to playing us. And if we're not there, like last year, we're banging on the door. We lose in the semifinals. And, Central's the hottest team right now. They won it the last 2 years. But, Central, in all due respect, I give them complete credit, but where have they been the last 25? And that's what people, Cecchini's going to retire, Barbe's going down. We win 30 games a year. I don't know what going down is, but I think we're going to get better. I think the best of Barbe baseball is yet to come. I truly believe that for several reasons. I'm at a better place. Baseball's not my God. It's not the number one thing in my life. I love it. I'm just as competitive. But the players can play better now because they can play with reckless abandon, freedom to make mistakes. And as you get older, you get wiser. I was born again when I was 51 years young. In 2013. And ironically, I don't think it's ironic, we won the national championship that year. It was much more peaceful. But I've learned. I used to be the guy yelling and screaming at all the players when they made mistakes. I don't ever yell at the kids.
I remember those days.
That doesn't happen. Now, I will get on them for not playing hard, not respecting the game. Tough love's part of, it's biblically based. Spare the rod, spoil the child. I really believe in tough love because you're trying to prepare these kids for life. And life's tough. It's rough. Look at my own son. He just got released and he hit 301. It's shameful for Major League Baseball. It is. But you know what? Control what you can control. He's going to win. He's going to be a big leaguer for a long time. And I try to teach these kids the lessons that I live every day. And sometimes it's challenging. It is. But you got to have faith and you got to believe that God's in control. And if you work as hard as you can, and pray is everything dependent upon God, and work is everything dependent upon you, great things can happen. And that's where we are as a team.
For you, a lot of talk about adjustment. You talked about how you've changed and adjusted over the years. How have players adjusted, families adjusted, parents adjusted, and how do you stay above the curve with that? Because the parent of today is a lot different than the parent of 30 years ago.
Yeah, I think, that's a great question, Jim. And I think kids are the same, but they're really the same. They want discipline. They want tough love. But I think parents raise their kids soft. They don't want their kids to suffer. They worry. They want to buy their way, and it's not life. Not everybody gets the job. But look at schools. There's a lot of people that want our country to become communist or socialism. And the Communist Manifesto was a great idea in theory, but it doesn't work very well. Not everybody's going to work the same. That's not how the United States was developed. Everybody's the same. Let's don't keep score. Everybody wins. That's not life.
So you're not everybody gets a trophy guy.
How I am so against that. And here's the thing, and really, when you look at it, and I want to say this because Jackie Robinson I despise discrimination. And I think in this country, we've taken 2 steps forward every time, and then we take 2 steps back. For example, we discriminated against the Native American Indian forever. And then, women couldn't vote. And then African Americans, especially in the South, they couldn't play in the SEC until Sam the Bam Cunningham scored 7 touchdowns and Bear Bryant said, and they won 42-0 at the Rose Bowl. Maybe it's a good idea if we get a few African Americans. I'm being sarcastic. Of course,
That's about what happened.
That's exactly what happened. But I'm saying, who cares? Like my dad, the way I was raised in Southern California, if everybody intermarried, blacks, Mexicans, whites, nobody'd be that dark, nobody'd be that light. You look at Jesus, he's always white. Well, look where he's from. He probably wasn't white.
Yeah.
But, we have these stereotypes, and I think now, I say this because I believe the only way things change is through education. Look at Martin Luther King. And people got to get uncomfortable. It's okay that if people are uncomfortable. So I'm going to end on this. Right now, I don't want to go to New York. You know why? Because the governor said, hey, if you're pro-life, you're not welcome. Well, here's how I feel. I'm pro-life, and I'm for guns. If you want to own your own gun, I don't. I have a shotgun. I don't hunt very much. But it's in the Constitution, the freedom of speech. And here's what I want to tell the governor of Louisiana. Hey, if you're pro-choice, you're still welcome in Louisiana if I'm governor. It's the American way. So I feel strongly about this, and I think we need to educate people.
All right. When we come back with Glen Cecchini, we'll talk a little baseball, maybe a little more politics. Who knows where we'll go, but we'll be right back with Eye on Sports after this.
I love it.
Watching your son get knocked down isn't easy, whether it's on the field or in life. But it was the times when life knocked John Gordon down that he learned the value of hard work and getting back up.
So are you nervous, son?
No, we've been practicing hard and staying focused.
Well, that hard work should pay off this season.
I got this, Pops.
People ask me if JG is going to play in college, but he just wants to work hard and win another state championship.
Values like this, hard work and getting back up, what we taught our kids are the same values we believe in at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys.
Call 888-8888.
I got hurt in a car wreck and some creepy insurance guy tried to get me to sign something.
Stop! Don't sign a thing!
After your car wreck, don't get cheated. Stop, think, and call me first.
In my case, Gordon got me $235,000. After a car wreck, stop, think, and get Gordon.
Better not stall if you want it all. You better make that call.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
We're back with Barbe head coach Glen Cecchini, and probably a good thing he didn't have tape. We have enough tape. I don't think we have enough tape to run this. What he says off camera, too. It's just as exciting. Coach, I want to get to you about baseball. Baseball for you is a family affair. Your wife is a huge part of the program. Your two sons played baseball professionally, Major League. Now there's one circling back to help you coach. How much of it, besides your family directly, is it a family affair for the outside too? And the kids that aren't related to you?
Yeah, I think I despise discrimination. So I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, rich, poor. My kids have been discriminated against in Major League Baseball, treated unfairly. And we're grateful they had big signing bonuses. But my thing is, I think they love my son. My wife's behind the scenes. She's not coaching on the field anymore. But, Garen is very qualified. I mean, he was got first round money, knows the game. He's not because he's my son. He was the best leader I've ever had. He's very successful and he owns his own business now. So, here's the thing. I think it is for the kids that want to earn, we're all about the truth. So, if you listen to people, and I don't really care what people think and say. I mean, I care what Jesus Christ says. But when people don't play, they're not going to say their son's not good enough. And that's the case. Yeah. It's competitive at Barbe. This is not Little League. This is not youth baseball. This is not select pay to play. The best guys are going to play. And we make mistakes, but we're always going to rectify. We're going to play the best guys. I benched my own son 7 games. Gavin. Throwing the bat and helmet. So what I've done speaks for itself. The billboard out there. And because I want to teach Gavin life lessons, I had 2 other kids on the team that did the same thing, but I punished them less. So I've always been tougher on my own family. Everybody knows that. But if you didn't play, it's always the coach's fault. It's a national epidemic. Yeah. And the truth is, because parents can't say, hey, or most parents can't say, hey, my son just wasn't good enough. Some do. One of my biggest supporters, Keith Fall, I cut his youngest son. All he's done is love me. He's a strong Christian man. He's my spiritual advisor. But most people aren't like Keith Fall. His other son was a star. So, but a lot of parents, they'll try to fire me 3 times. And look, I needed to change. I was very, sometimes demeaning, humiliated players. And that's how I grew up though. My dad treated me that way. And I'm not being a victim. I'm not saying that. When we coached, it was tough love. I was motivated in a negative way and I responded. Most kids do not respond to negative motivation. It's a different time and era, now. Mm-hmm. And parents don't even want you to get on a kid. I mean, there's kids you get on and they're going to leave your program or they don't want to play. But what they don't understand is at SEC schools, I don't want to use names, we had a guy, one of our most decorated players, didn't hit a cutoff man and he didn't play for over a month. And they give FU speeches to the kids. I'm just telling you, and not every, like Justin Hill's awesome, he's incredible, treats people with respect. But, there's a lot of Division I coaches. It's not all love and they're explaining things to you like we do at Barbe. They want to preserve their $1 million job. And they'll sign you a scholarship. And I don't want to name schools, but we had a guy, one of the best players ever here. And I don't want to say his name because everybody's going to know. This guy's a very respected college coach, makes like $1.4 million. The kid gets hurt. He leads the team in the fall. 4.0 student, he gets hurt. They took his scholarship away. And he was at a private school. It cost $80,000 a year to go there. His parents made a lot of money, but his dad did. but couldn't afford to send him. He had to leave. That's not right. You know, I would never do that to a kid. But I'm just telling you, we try to prepare these kids for life, because most of our kids play college baseball. And the parents don't want kids to suffer anymore. They don't want them, they want them to start right away. They want guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee that I'm not gonna have a heart attack right now and die. You know, one of my best friends, David Costello, died at 61. Who would have thought that?
That wouldn't be good TV, just so you know. I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't be, but I'm just saying. But parents, some of the tough, you know what Glen Cecchini said? This is why I validated. I embarrassed him, humiliated him when he sat on the bench. He said, hey man, you know what? I hope you like the bench. That's where you're gonna sit. You know, and I attacked him. I should have never said that. I said, a message is worth 1,000 words. I mean, I said them, that's enough. I prepared Gavin for tough love. I mean, look at you. You lost your job at the American Press because you applauded and put a picture because the kids sang the national anthem. This is the United States of America. Where's the freedom of speech? We can't even say the Pledge of Allegiance. You think in Mexico, the Mexicans are gonna fire at a game, they're gonna fire the reporter because they report that? We discriminate against our own people. We used to discriminate against the Indians. We discriminated against women that couldn't vote, poor African Americans. You know, thank God for Martin Luther King. It's a shame.
I want to ask you, one of the things I read about you, and you said that, and kind of your evolution was, and you talked about your son right there, is you don't attack the player anymore because you want to send the message, whereas before. Is that part of the learning process for you?
Yes, I've always loved the players. The problem is I sent mixed messages. Jim, man, I love you, man. And then the next second, you make an error. You're the worst second baseman I've ever had. You're terrible. Man, all you can do is hit. You can't field. In front of everybody. Humiliation's bad. So, it's a challenge every day. That's the way I've been used to coaching. And once in a while I slip. I still do, but not very often. When they make errors, I've conquered that. And I'll conquer the other. Sometimes my passion comes out the wrong way. I always mean well. I'm not a vengeful, spiteful person. But, yes. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't, look, you get more from sugar than honey. Or you get more from sugar than, honey than vinegar. Positive.
But you'll be able to keep your passion. That's kind of the interesting thing. I still have a
passion. I pulled a kid out the other day because he didn't say something, but I put him right back in. And I didn't yell or scream at him. I just, hey man, let's go, you gotta talk. I used to make them, if they didn't pick off, I'd make them run around the field and slide into home if they didn't slide 500 times at practice. Now I'll just bench them, take them out, put them back in.
All right, when we get back with Ion Sports, Glen Cecchini will tell us a little bit about his past history of players coming back to the program and how close he stayed with them. When we get back on Ion Sports.
I can still remember Charlotte's first day of kindergarten like it was yesterday. Now, she's heading off to college. So how are you feeling?
I'm nervous. I'm also really excited.
You're the first McKernan to not go to LSU in decades. Promise me this, you'll wear purple and gold at all the UT football games.
Dad.
Letting go isn't easy, especially for this Louisiana dad, but our children know family is always there for them. Just like when our clients come to us for help, they'll always be part of the Get Gordon family. We want to be your lawyers for life.
Call 888-8888.
Gators are powerful and dangerous creatures, and I'm telling you, you don't want to mess with one of these guys on your own. You need a professional. Now, Mike here is a professional alligator handler, and I'm professional at taking on the insurance companies. And they can be just as dangerous and powerful as these gators, so be careful. Don't try to handle the insurance companies on your own. If you've been seriously injured, get a professional. Call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
We're back for our Sandals segment with Glen Cecchini, Barbe head coach. Probably could do 3 more shows with you. I want to get to one thing that really fascinates me about your program is the kids come back and they stay close to the program. How important is that to you?
Huge. I mean, what other high school program? We have JT Shagwar that didn't even play here, loves it here, loves the culture. Should interview him. We have Garen and Glen Cecchini, my sons. Carmen Angelini, all the players, all the guys playing, Wade LeBlanc, they all come back. He just signed a $31 million contract.
It's not a bad contract. Cool. He's sticking around.
We got an amazing culture, and it's better than ever right now. And I give that Luke David, we just hired him. and Andrew Morton, 2 young coaches that are positive, upbeat, and Glen Cecchini, my son. I mean, it's really helped us. He's actually, you said about me coaching, he's the third base coach, so I'm going to be the bench coach. I did that with Team USA. It worked out well. 1 year I was on third base, and 1 year I was the bench coach. They wouldn't let me do both. See, I've done both here at Barbe.
Yeah.
But it's too much. You need to delegate, and we've got a great thing going. We're all on the same page. We all want, you said, how good is it for the kids? I didn't answer that very well. We give motivation every day. We try to leave no stone left unturned. I mean, I think it's incredible. We run like it's more like a major Division I program, like the best of the best. SEC.
Oh, without question.
I mean, with the coaches, we have 7 coaches. I mean, we do mental, we do the power of the positive team. That's what we're reading. We do mental training every day. We give them motivation. One thing we say every morning is get your mind right. That's what they got to say. And they got to name themselves. I'm Glen the Encourager. No one works harder or loves more. One kid's named 12 Gauge. I never miss my shot. He's a pitcher. So we all have names. One kid's the big Bayou Beast from Louisiana. Everybody names themselves, and they got to say that every day. And it's so much, as a man thinks, so he is, Proverbs 23:7. And we always say, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. That doesn't mean necessarily play in the major leagues. It does, but it means I can handle, I can endure, I can get through. There's going to be tough times in baseball. Baseball's a game that you fail a lot in, so you've got to have a mindset of being strong and so what? Next pitch, next play, get up. That's life. Things don't always go your way. And we try to teach them life lessons, so I think it's great. If I didn't believe that, this is what I truly believe. Best high school program in America. We were listed as one of the top 10, and there may be someone that has more stands, but if you take facilities, coaches, the whole everything, I really believe we're the best. And to me, it doesn't matter who is really the best. It's what you believe. As a man thinks, so he is. And we try to brainwash our players in a positive way every single day.
I don't want to bring you down on a bad subject, but I do want to ask you this because how it influenced you in your program. I read where you had 9 players, former players, die of drug overdose or alcoholism and that.
Yeah.
And how does that put a perspective into?
That was a little, and you know, I actually said that number and I was mistaken. A couple of those kids, unfortunately, like Ricky Trick, he died, but he was taken, he had a heart condition. And he passed out, so that doesn't count. And then we had another player that was included in there because it kind of got mixed up that we had 9 players die, but not all of them died. So we really figured out it was 5. But we've had 9 players die, but 4 of those were not their fault.
But how does that?
It's horrible to bury your players.
Is it like a parent to some extent?
Pardon me?
Is it like a parent they say about burying a child? Is it just being a part of your family?
It is. I tell them this all the time. One of my teammates, Garrett O'Connor, committed suicide, and he was a first-round draft choice of the Yankees. And I found out during practice, and we're the same age, 57 years young, and I stopped practice right there, and I told him the story. And I said, it's so sad. I said, nothing's permanent unless you allow it to be. I said, time heals all wounds. You may never get over something, but you're going to be able to deal with it. Time will help you. I said, nothing is so bad that you can't go on. I mean, killing yourself is permanent. You know, get counseling, things will get better. Tell someone, reach out to your mom, dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, your best friend. So it was a teachable moment, and that's where I feel that I'm in a better place. You know, I say I'm 57 years young. I feel like, you know, I have more energy than most 20-year-olds. And I used to take the credit for that. I don't. I've always given the players credit, but who gave me that energy? God gave me the energy. He gave me the drive. He gave me the enthusiasm. I mean, God willing, I'm going to coach 50 years. I hope, you know, I could coach my grandkids someday. And that's not why I'm staying in. People used to say, hey, when Cecchini's kids gets out, he's going to retire. I couldn't be further from the truth, you know. And I'm all about strive for perfection to attain excellence. You're never going to be perfect. But I'm my own worst critic. And I know I can get better every day. And if I get better, then we get better. And I challenge everybody to look at themselves, take some introspection. I tell my kids, hey, take the qualities you love, implement them, and the things you don't like, don't implement them. Don't do that to your kids. That's what I did with my dad, a great dad. I love him. He's still alive today. He's 89. But there's some things I didn't like. I'm not going to go into them. So I've tried not to repeat it. It's so sad. I mean, you look at this. Here I am with politics, but it's not really politics. People that are sexually abused are more likely to sexually abuse their kids. How could that be? That's shameful. It's terrible. Break the cycle. Break the cycle. And that's why I always speak out, because it's about education. I mean, when you educate people and you talk and you don't take it, we can change the world one person at a time. It grows exponentially. Look what Martin Luther King did. It's okay for people to be unsettled. It's okay for people to feel, not comfortable. That's how progress is made. That's why, women can vote. That's why blacks can play in the major leagues and the SEC, which they should be. And discrimination is terrible. Now we're discriminating against people's beliefs, and we got to stop it. We got to end it.
All right, we got to get out of here pretty quick on this, but I want to ask you one thing. You said something about the best of Barbe baseball is to come. You've won 3 championships in a row. Yep. You've won 9. Yep. Does it have to be championships, or is it just something else?
No, that's a byproduct of what we do. I'm talking about, we've got numerous doctors, lawyers, successful businessmen, but I think we're going to even win more in the future than we have. I really believe that, but that's a byproduct. That's not how I measure success. How I measure success now. And I used to, this ring was going to validate me and give me salvation. I didn't really believe that, but somehow if I was coach of the year, if we won a state championship, it was so fleeting. When we won on the way home, we're talking about next year. I shouldn't have done that. We should have celebrated. And I think that's where we miss it as a society. I mean, you got to celebrate. I know that's the way I missed it. I can't speak for other people. But now what I celebrate is making a difference in someone's life through Jesus. If I can inspire and empower someone else to be everything that they're destined to be through Jesus, what's greater than that? They can pass it on to their kids. And like I said, it grows exponentially. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And I think that's how we change the world, one person at a time.
Well, I thank Coach Glen Cecchini from Barbe High School for taking time out of his program. And we'll see you next week on Ion Sports.
Pleasure, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Faith and family. Growing up in Louisiana, I was taught these were the things that mattered most. My wife and I have worked hard to pass along these kinds of values to our 4 children. Teaching these values isn't always easy, but it's definitely worth it. Right, John Gordon?
Right, Pops.
Relationships are the most important thing in life. That's why at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, the money we get our clients is important, but the relationships we build with our clients is what matters most.
Get Gordon. Call 888-8888.
You're watching CBS Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's CBS station.
I'm Ron Williams, Director of the SWLA Naval Museum, and we are so grateful for all of our wonderful volunteers.